Welcome to Dirty Fanatics United.
Falcon fans, Falcon Nations, Dirty Fanatics United is live here on a Tuesday night, August the 6th, bringing you some live Atlanta Falcon content, updates, just talking Falcon football, man. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button, leave a comment, and definitely hit that subscribe button. It's been a great weekend in Atlanta, and people that are tuning in now, we are going to speak about it here on the podcast. As always, I'm your host, Chase, followed by my co-host, Philip, and the man, no other than Cody Keeler. Philip, Cody, what's been going on, man? It's only been a couple of days since we last talked. We've had a full weekend full of Atlanta sports and news that, as far as Twitter, seeing it live in action. Philip, Cody, what's been going on, man?
Pretty much this past few days has been going through a crazy storm here for us, but I don't know what it's like up there in Atlanta, but here it's been crazy. But other than that, just recovering from the weekend, all that walking, I was about dead, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, standing for 4 hours straight, but it was all worth it though, man. We had a good time. I've been just keeping up, looking up at the news today. That's what's happening. We got some good bit of news coming tonight about today. Everything's looking good on this side. So,
Cody, what's been going on, man? Got to link up this weekend at the Benz. The full group of Dirty Fanatics United was in the house. Cody, obviously tonight we're going to hit on our experience this weekend at the opening, practice here in the Benz. Cody, what's been going on, man?
Yeah, man, just working away, enjoying the new company taking over for the most part. I would say it's been crazy, I'll tell you that much. So, always looking forward to, talking about Dirty Bird football. So get away from it for a bit.
Yes, sir. Cody with the new holographics in the background chat. If you like what Cody's got going on here, man, check it out. He's got the hologram Falcon beaming in the background, man. We got the pinata up on the wall over here. Shout out to Cody and Philip. Philip, we'll start out with you, man. This weekend, we was down at the Benz Friday afternoon watching the Dirty Birds do Dirty Bird things, baby, play Falcon football. Philip, give me your honest opinion of Friday night's practice. Give me your standout guys. Give me your people that you were watching. Like, give me your all-around summary of Friday night in Atlanta.
Okay. So I would just say overall, like my standout guy, I don't know what it is. It's not just because I'm already a fan of him, but Drayton has stole the show for me Friday. We'll be doing it on Sundays, but he stole it Friday. Just the crazy catches. I don't think he even dropped one single pass that was thrown to him, other if it was just overthrown a little bit. But I don't think he dropped a single pass. My experience over it all. Kirk Cousins is going to be a problem, and then it's crazy to think, man. As great as he's going, in this off season, this preseason that we're coming into, Michael Penix is not far from behind him. I feel like, of course he's got, he don't have the experience and everything, but it will come to him as he's learning. You can tell he's learning from Kurt, which is a great sign. It looks like he's willing to work. He's put in the work as well. Defensive side of things looks, they portrayed like it was just getting, just slaughtered the entire time. But, defense has some good stops. DeMarco Helms with a nice hit that almost caused a little scrumble. But, It's good to see that the defense isn't getting bullied as they made it seem. Clark Phillips, to me, is the standout on the defense as of right now. He's been doing big things this preseason, or, this whatever you want to call it, this offseason training camp. And then also Friday as well. He made some big plays there and then too.
Nice. Phillips intake there for the training camp experience Friday for him. Cody, obviously, you were there. You were in the building. You've seen what was going on. You got to see the Kirk Cousins throws, the Michael Penix Jr. throws, even the rookies, Casey Washington, Eddie Goldman, like Cody called, starting with the first D line. Cody, your thoughts of what you've seen this past Friday night at the bench, just your experience, man. What's going on?
Yeah, man. I was going to say Kirk Cousins is as advertised. He's going to be good. I'll tell you what, Michael Penix really actually surprised me. You know, I knew he was going to be good, but man, kid has some zip on the ball. I understand that, you know, and you have to remember when he's out there practicing, he's practicing against first team defense. Yep. And he's still putting, you know, the ball where it needs to be. Again, it's practice, but you can see the flashes of where he's going to be ready when Kirk Cousins finally retires. We're going to be in really good hands when Penix takes over this team. Well, you know me, former offensive lineman. That was what I watched most was offensive, defensive line. Offensive line looked really good. Didn't look like they were giving up too much pressure. The only thing I wasn't super thrilled about was the 2 false starts. I believe one was by by Lindstrom, and the other one I believe was I was gonna say I can't remember because they didn't really call it out, but so wasn't thrilled about that. But you know, that's practice. You know, you only had 2 in a 2-hour practice window, not bad. Again, I know they're first team going up against second team, so it's not a whole look like we're going to get against the practices that we're going up against the Dolphins. But that was some of the good news I saw today was our offensive line made the Dolphins defensive line look bad. So I'm excited to see how that looks continuing going forward, practicing with the Dolphins. But as far as the Mercedes-Benz open practice went, offensive line looked good. And, of course, the one guy I was really paying attention to on defense was Grady. How is Grady going to look coming back from injury? Grady looked fast. Grady looked like he was ready to go. He looks like he's ready for week 1. You know, again, those were my main concerns. So that was definitely what I watched. And like I say, I definitely think that this team is going to be a lot better all around than people think after watching practice. And that was one thing I told y'all. The energy around practice was totally different from the previous 3 off seasons. People were hyped. You know, it felt, you know, there was that we can do this thing. Why not us? You could that really has taken energy into the Falcons training camp and around this team.
Yep, 100%. I agree with you, man. I'll just start from the top about my experience Friday night in the Benz. Getting to see Kirk Cousins, man, that was my big insight on everything was watching Kirk Cousins. Wanted to see how he reacted with that Achilles tear. Wanted to see how the chemistry was with these 2 guys. And I will say Kirk Cousins looked really well. There was maybe in his practice, so there was like maybe 1 or 2 passes that did not connect. There was one that was a little underthrown, and as soon as a ball was underthrown, a fan in front of me said, "That's got something to do with that Achilles. That's why the ball didn't get to the receiver." And but I've watched the man. You know, I watched him throughout the day, and I was like, Kirk Cousins is going to be all right. I think this offense. I really feel like Drake London has just brought a whole nother level here in year 3. If anybody here follows Atlanta Falcons on Facebook, all you have to do is just go on there, and you'll see about 2 to 3 clips of Drake London absolutely torching. And it's not even really torching. It's just manning up, physically outdoing just bodying, being that big receiver that he could be. And that's why a lot of prospects were hiring him coming out of college, because he played that basketball. And he was a very, very big-bodied basketball player. And you see it translate to what he does now in the NFL at receiver. He's able to go up, get to the highest point, get the ball, come down with it. Another one, man, and I read an article today about this. Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is back, baby. You're gonna finally see the true Kyle Pitts. I will say I don't think he still will ever fully heal to that speed that he was as a rookie. You still kind of see the little bit of the limp, I would say, in the run. It's not really crazy like it was last year, but there's still a little something there. I mean,
which is normal.
You tore your knee up. But I think this year Kyle Pitts will be a stud. I think Kyle Pitts is going to come out there and produce huge numbers. I seen an article this past weekend. It said problems in Atlanta: too many big weapons, not enough plays. And so I got to thinking about it, and I was like, well, maybe this is a good topic for the podcast. And so we'll start with you, Philip. Do you think that there's too many targets on this offense and not enough plays to get every single one of these guys noticed? Okay, let's remember, Drake London has yet to hit 1,000-yard receiving season in the NFL. Kyle Pitts has not hit 1,000 yards since the rookie season. He's coming off a major injury. He's also coming – I say major injury. It's year 2 now after the injury. But he's also coming up on a contract year. Kyle Pitts needing that contract. Rondale Moore and Darnell Mooney fighting for that second and third string receiver spot. So, Philip, your thoughts. Is there too many targets on this offense and not enough weapons? And then, Cody, will rotate to you.
Too many targets and not enough weapons.
Too many targets and not enough plays.
Oh, okay. I mean, I just look at it as if like we're back in 2016. We had it then too. You know what I mean? We had guys that hadn't shined like they had before. You know what I'm saying? Then that year too, it didn't seem as a problem then. So I think as it this way, why would it be a problem now? You know what I mean? It's being more about let's be teammates and let's win this together. It doesn't matter if say Pitts comes close to 1,000 yards and doesn't get it, but say Drake does. You know, as long as they're okay with it, you know, and they're good with their production, I don't see where it would be like, you know, in that case of saying it's a bad thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or say with Rondale Moore or, you know, Mooney, you know, it just, if it happens, it happens. You know, it's going to be more of like a team thing. I feel like I don't think it'll matter. I'm just looking more of a standpoint like in 2016. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
Like it just doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like that year, whatever happened, it just happened. We didn't care. You know,
you think about the Julio Jones years, the years that he was still, you know, in his prime. He wasn't putting the touchdowns up, but he was getting you in positions to win games. There was times where Julio was just he would get you a first down, and that'd be all you see for the next couple of plays. But he was, as he said in a couple of meetings, Julio Jones, even Kyle Pitts at a young age, was saying that they were here for the dub. They didn't care about the stats. They were here to get the W. And Phil, you bring a great point up, man. It's a team sport, and we got to play together to get these W's. It's a tough schedule this season. I trust Zach, you know, to throw the right scheme out there. I think when people talk about too many targets and not enough plays, it comes to the realization that that's something that falls back on the coach, I believe, because the coach has got to know how to scheme for his players, how to scheme to win games for these guys. And that's something that's very important to me because, Philip, you pointed out that Kirk Cousins has a very strong connection with was it Mooney or McLeod?
It is Mooney. He has a very good connection
with Mooney. And he came out of his mic dump and was talking about how Mooney was a dog, how he was just a fighter. When fans can see that, that just tells you how close that connection is.
And it brings back to Kirk recruiting him to Atlanta as well. Yep. He wanted him and it was like with Mooney, he said wherever Kirk was going, he was going. So it's like a good connection right there already. And it just, you know, it makes things better. You know,
100%. Cody, your thoughts of the article that I talked about. You see an article and it says Falcons have too many targets and not enough plays to make it happen in Atlanta. Cody, your thoughts of, is it possible that these Atlanta Falcons could have too much talent to where you look back at, I don't know, it was a 2018 year, 2020 year, 2021 year, you had a couple of weapons, and people were talking about how, let's see, we'll go back to the Ridley, the Sanu. We never got to play with the Julio, but all those targets, and you can never get that ring. You never got that ring. You were close to it. Don't get me wrong, we were right there at the grasp of it. But Cody, is that a true statement, or is it just a thing where a coach has to do his job, and that's how you win games in the NFL?
Yeah, no, to say that that's a problem is kind of silly to me. I don't think you can ever have enough weapons to ever be a problem. maybe stat wise it's a problem, but is it a Falcon problem? Absolutely not. That's one thing that Coach Raheem has preached, all off season is we're going to put the
Love his
players in the
energy.
best position to make them succeed the best that they can, and we're going to do whatever we have to do to make that happen. So I don't really understand where they're coming from as far as it's a problem, because at one point on this roster we had Devontae Freeman, we had Tony Gonzalez, we had a Julio Jones, we had a Roddy White, we had a Toy Lolo, we had, the list goes on. And Matt Ryan found a way to get 13 different people in the end zone. So to say it's a problem is a little silly to me. I definitely think if it's a problem, that it's a good problem to have. The coach is going to put these guys in the best position to succeed. Whether people are breaking records or not, who knows? You may spread the ball around, but that's not a bad problem when you've got people guessing. It takes away that one-dimensional phase from the Falcons. Well, again, because it comes back to where it makes the defense have to really think about what's going on. You've got Bijan, you've got Tyler, you've got Kyle, you've got Drake, you've got Mooney, you've got Ray, you've got all these weapons. So it's not like when you've got one great wide receiver and maybe a decent tight end where you're going, okay, I know it's 2nd down and 7. They're throwing a slant route, double team, Julio, or double team whoever. So again, do I think it's a problem? Absolutely not. Is it a problem for individual stats? Yeah, probably. But that's not what matters. And these guys have, started out being like, we don't care. What matters to us is the win. And that's a big thing. Football is the ultimate team sport. It really is. It takes everybody on that field to win a football game, all the way down to the kickers, young way. I mean, think about it. You have to have all these guys doing their jobs, and not everybody's going to eat every week. Maybe Tyler's got, has got the running advantage over Bijan against the Steelers because the Steelers front is bigger. Bijan is a smaller back compared to Tyler. So maybe Tyler is able to beat up and bust up that Steelers defensive line. Or, maybe you get into weeks where it's Kansas City. They're a little smaller. They're a little faster. Well, okay, now we've got Bijan, and maybe Tyler's not the best option. So, again, it comes down to, it's an individual stat problem. Is it a Falcon problem? Absolutely not.
Speaking of targets and weapons on this offense, articles come across my phone today. Cordell Hodge is the steal of today's matchup in Miami. Kirk Cousins and Cordell Hodge, connection like no other from the reports that I'm seeing. A 50-yard bomb from Kirk Cousins to Cordell Hodge, the same guy that was taking the top off last year with Desmond Ridder, the year before with a Mariota. So to see these players with a Kirk Cousins, man, I really think the sky is the limit. Phil, speaking on some articles coming out today, our guy Daniel Flick over on Twitter, shout out to Daniel Flick, steady bringing the Twitter comment, the Twitter content on the Atlanta Falcons, keeping our guys in the 360 of things that's going on, man. So shout out to Daniel Flick. Reports today that minor scuffle down in Miami. Drake London with that big body attitude, cuz going up, getting the ball, coming down with a little physique to it, shoving Miami defender down to the ground, and then you have the offense against Miami's defense head-to-head at open practice. Philip, Cody, your thoughts about Drake London, man, making a statement day one at the Miami Falcon practice joint?
First things first, he is just not putting up with the same old BS.
Cody!
Yeah, you feel me? It's not like he's done it before, especially with the Saints game. I think it was his rookie year over in New Orleans, I'm pretty sure. Where one of them, I think it was Lattimore, got in his face. He wasn't with it then, but he just walked it off, I think this is more of him gaining a little bit more confidence in himself and then just on the field too. Like, you can't fuck with me, like type vibe. Right, you know what I mean? Right. Like, you can't do, I'm him. That's the type of vibe I'm getting it from. And he's just tired of I feel like he's seeing certain things on the internet where there are people saying certain things about him, like, oh, he's
doubting him, saying he's not a top receiver in that draft class.
With Olave or, I can't think of his name. Oh, buddy from the Jets,
Yeah. Garrett
Wilson, saying he's not there. This is him making a statement saying, I'm here, I'm him. I'm going to continue to be him. It's just a whole different vibe from Drake, and I'm loving it.
I love it, Philip. Philip with the great comment, as always. And Cody, your thoughts of Drake London, man, making a statement early here in the Miami versus Falcon joint practices. Obviously, meeting some familiar faces as far as Raheem and Jalen Ramsey, Calais Campbell with Grady Jarrett. Familiar faces down in Miami, man. And Drake London makes a statement day one, showing his physique, showing his physicality. Cody, your thoughts on Drake London, man?
Yeah, it's always good to see because that's what number one receivers do. They make statements. And Drake, showing you that, hey, yeah, this may be practice and this may be, friendly competition. This is still football. And I don't care if I'm in Atlanta or if I'm in Miami, I run this. So it's good to see, your number one receiver have that attitude and not be like, it gets down to, like we talk about with Clark Phillips about bullying receivers. This is Drake London coming out being like, you're not going to bully me. I'm the number one guy here. I'm the baddest, mofo out here. And I'm going to push you to the ground. I'm going to do whatever I've got to do to make the play. And if that means that, you're going to be in your feelings and you're going to be hurt, so be it. And that's what you want from your wide receiver one. You don't want this diva. You want this tough, badass, like, don't give a damn. I'm gonna make plays, and if it hurts your feelings, too bad. It may be practice, but I'm here to get better, and that's a good thing to see from Drake.
Yes, sir, man. Some more breaking news coming out from Daniel Flick, man. Shout out to Daniel Flick. Seriously, dude. Like, this guy has kept us in the wrap all offseason, man. Daniel Flick, shout out to the kind of newish reporter for the Atlanta Falcons, Daniel Flick. Going to try to get him on the show, man. It's going to be dope to have Daniel Flick here for the podcast. But some more news that he drops for the Falcons-Dolphins one-on-ones. Kirk Cousins just threw a pair of beautiful 30-yard touchdowns to Drake London and Ray McLeod. Bucket balls down the right sideline. Guys, this is one-on-ones. Numerous 30-yard touchdown passes. Not just Drake, but a shorter receiver and Ray McLeod as well. 30-yard passes. Sideline bucket balls. Guys, I don't know if you know what a bucket ball is, but that's a floater coming down the sideline, just straight dropping it in the basket. Kirk Cousins on the money as he's been all offseason. Philip, Cody, your thoughts on hearing this news from Daniel Flick?
It's just so I said it Friday. It's just showing the veteran side of him. He's placing the ball where it should be. We've seen it, when we actually had an actual great quarterback in Matt Ryan. And after that, we haven't seen it since. We kind of, us as fans, kind of forgot what it was like. So this feels very refreshing, and it's just new to us again because we ain't seen it in about 4 years. Now until now, I will say 3. Because this is the 4th year. But it's just showing the veteran side of him. He's putting it where it needs to be. It's he's leading a little bit onto his, he's leading the receiver a little bit more, so they can get to the ball again, which is showing the veteran side of him. It's just going to make the receivers apparently look better. You know what I mean? He's doing his job so easy that it's making them look better and making him look like he's, great. You know what I mean? Which is honestly a good thing. You want to see that, but just,
Cody, your thoughts, brother?
Yeah, is anybody really surprised after what we've seen coming out of training camp anyways? Because I'm not. I mean, he's just doing it against a different team. He's not doing it against, our defense. It just, like Philip said, it's good to see that veteran quarterback that is actually got the talent to play quarterback again. I'll say it feels very Matt Ryan-ish, again, to have a quarterback that can drop those bucket balls into guys, arms in the corners of the end zones. It's again, to, Philip's point again, it's refreshing to see, and it's refreshing to hear that coming out of, joint practices and stuff. I'm not surprised by it at all. I mean, especially with Kirk Cousins' year that he was having before he got hurt. I mean, it just looks like he's ready to jump right back in and start all over again and pick up where he left off. I would say, the other great thing is I was like, he's telling me to keep going. All right. So, so it's just good to see that in such a short time, Kirk and the wide receivers are developing that, hey, I know where you're going to be. This is where I'm going to put it. Be there. And they're getting there. You've got the guys that have got the speed to get there. And now you've got the guy with the talent to get the ball there. Big things are coming for this offense. This is going to be easily a top 5 offense. I know some people are like, it's ridiculous to think that they're going to score 30 points a game. It's not out of the realm of possibility. It's not out of the realm of possibility with this team.
It's got to be a normal thing, scoring more than 30, 30 or 30 plus more.
Absolutely. A 24-point game is going to be a low-scoring game for us this year, I feel, and that's saying a lot. It's showing, a lot of, what's to come. Listening to 92.9 The Game, Squidbilly was talking to Zach Robinson about, he couldn't really say much about what was going on, but, he got into this topic of, well, hey, remember the Kyle Shanahan offense? You remember this stuff? And Zach Robinson was like, yeah, get ready for some of that stuff to be coming back. And we were the number 1 offense under Kyle Shanahan. So if we can match that, even just 75% of that, this offense limits are through the roof. And so I'm excited to see what they've really got dialed up. I mean, they're not really showing their hand right now, but just from the videos coming out, man, it's going to be special.
Speaking of video, I found one a second ago. While he's going for certain difficulties right now, former Falcon, which is Calais Campbell, today on today, he spoke today saying, speaking on the new look and things that Kirk has done today. He stated today, Kirk Cousins is a legend in the game. He said he's had a lot of success. He made some beautiful throws today. And then he spoke on Penix. He said, and the Penix kid looks pretty good too, which is a good sign, especially, with dealing with this, as being a rookie, being thrown into this, against this Miami fast Miami team, you know what I mean? So it's a great look, and honestly a great thing for somebody like Calais to speak on Penix and Kirk. We already know Kirk was that, but speaking on Penix is just it says something,
Yep. 100%. Philip, I agree with you. I just read the post that you sent to the group. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I lost all hearing, could not hear anything y'all are saying. But shout out to Philip and Cody for keeping that thing rolling, man. Shout out to my guy, LaMarcus Boyd in the chat, man. DFU in the house. Shout out to LaMarcus Boyd, baby. We were in the house Friday because catches this season all year long in the bins, repping some Falcon football. One time for the fan, man. Check them out on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, etc. One time for the fan, man. Leave a subscribe button over there. I believe they're like 50 away from 1,000, man. So help out one time for the fan. Shout out to my boy Jack. Falcon fans, some news coming out of Flowery Branch. Not really training camp news, but kind of sort of training camp news because my guy, Caleb McGarry, has been putting on some pounds, people. Caleb has gained 20 pounds since OTAs. That brings him now at a weighing of at 341 pounds. Philip, Cody, your thoughts of Caleb McGarry moving 20 pounds, gaining 20 pounds in less than a week or 2 weeks? Caleb McGarry bulking up, or is he just getting fat? Philip, Cody, your thoughts?
Seeing him in first, like literally, we were right there in front of him. He didn't look like he was, what you said called fat, but he's just a big guy. You know what I mean? He looks like he's still putting in the work, with muscle. So I mean, it's not. I think it's more of bulking, I guess, trying to improve himself on where he has messed up in the previous seasons. He's always been a big guy, but, maybe you need that extra few pounds, to get him, just to get him out there and do what he's, messed up on in previous seasons. He's gotten better as he's, prolonged in his career, but, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't look too bad out of shape to me. He was very solid Friday night. So maybe from saying that, maybe he continues to do that this, the upcoming season.
Cody, your thoughts? Caleb McGarry, obviously we got to see the first look of him Friday night at the bins. Caleb McGarry gaining 20 pounds since OTAs, man. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that was one of the first things I said to Philip when I saw him come out was he looked like Thor, man. That long blonde hair and that beard, man. He's coming a long way. Big big dude. I think it's only good because to me it didn't look like lazy weight. It looked like I've been in the gym putting in the work, busting my ass weight. He's going to be a problem for people. I think he's only going to get better as he keeps going on because he has improved as he's really got that cohesion with the offensive line. And now you put more mass on him. I think that was one of his problems. He was probably a little too small, which is weird saying for somebody that was 300 plus pounds, maybe being too small. I know that's kind of been one of our offensive line struggles. Where normally one of the smaller offensive lines, height ways and in weight ways. So to see him put on that mass, as long and again, like Philip said, Friday he looked solid. Didn't see a whole lot of pressure come from his side. Again, I understand it's practice. He's going up against the twos, not ones. But again, it shows that he is improving because that was one of the headlines today was Falcons offensive line makes Dolphins defensive line look weak. I think that was the word, was makes them look weak. So that tells you that not just Caleb McGarry, but all the guys on the front line there are putting in the time, getting bigger and getting stronger. So it was good to see. It was exciting to see how much bigger he has gotten. Again, I don't think it was lazy weight. It was definitely gym weight. So excited to see what Caleb McGarry's got going this season.
Absolutely. Caleb McGarry, man, probably to me one of the most underrated players on this team. Our guy, Arnold Ebiketie, Philip Cody, we've spoken about him a good bit here on the channel, said this is a year that he's got to make an impact. This is the year Arnold Ebiketie has to get to the quarterbacks, has to get some pressure, help lead others to sacks. Arnold Ebiketie bringing some good news in today from our guy, no other than D Orlando, posted on Twitter. He said, Arnold Ebiketie would have had a sack on that last rush. The Falcons' best chance for a pass rush off the edge. Speaking on the doctor, the sack master, Arnold Ebiketie. Philip, Cody, your thoughts of this new regime, this new faced defense? You've seen a lot of Braylon Trice Friday at the Benz.
Was
You've
not
seen
there
a lot
today.
of Eddie Goldman. A player that I wanted to see more of that I didn't see enough of was Rook Ohurohu. Can we agree to that? Did we see much of Rook on the D-line, second team, third team? I didn't see much, and then again, I was a couple Jack and Cokes in, so I'm not too sure.
Well, I didn't really see a whole lot of him, but here's to say that they were really mainly running certain things. You know what I mean? So maybe he wasn't in those certain packages. There were like certain things that they were doing because pretty much what they did Friday was like, driving down the field, 1 minute left on the clock, and certain things like that. That's pretty much all we really got to see mainly, which you can't blame them. They don't want to show you your full thing.
Right.
So I think that was more of the deal of it, but I've heard some good things coming from Rukaroro this off season. So
I'm definitely excited to see what the Clemson guy can do. Being behind a Grady Jarrett, seeing Eddie Goldman play nose tackle, learning from vets like that. Eddie, a guy that's retired the past 2 seasons, and then you see a Raheem Morris head coach come in the building, and he's able to talk Eddie Goldman into staying another year. He's now repping with the first defense at training camp, looking pretty well, I would say. A lot of chaos in the middle with Eddie. To the left of Eddie is my guy, Anamata, and then to the right you got Grady Jarrett, and then it's like you got 4 linebackers that are all 3 starters, as Raheem Morris just spoke about this week. Speaking on how somebody asked about Troy Anderson, his thoughts on Troy Anderson, and he said Troy Anderson is a great player. He said, unfortunately, every linebacker we have on this team are starting linebackers in the NFL. He said, so it is what it is. And I love that, dude. I love to see that when you have a first-string linebacker on rotations at the linebacker spot. That's how deep your team is this year. Philip, your thoughts of Caden Ellis, Troy Anderson, Nate Lamon, all these linebackers that you have here on this team. Could this be a defense that's even better than last year?
Possibly could be. You know what I mean? I've said it before. This is a team that seems like they're interested in what Raheem's cooking. You know
Facts, bro. I'm glad you said that. Facts.
It's a team that looks like they're just like I spoke about, London earlier saying he's him. He's got a team full of people that's tired of the disrespect. That's tired of the, just the same old, same old. They're buying what he's selling, and it looks like, it just looks like they're all, even the rookies. I've seen undrafted rookies, bro. The news about him this past week and a couple weeks ago, they're buying whatever he's selling, and I don't know what he's doing, what he's saying to them personally, but I'm loving it. We all seen the energy he brought. It's just the jokes, but also the seriousness into like the practices and everything. It could be possibly. I'm not gonna lie. It just seems like they're all interested. Once when you're interested, you're gonna put your all into everything to be the best you can be.
Absolutely. Cody, Philip with another solid answer, man. It's going to be hard to top that answer there. Philip hitting the nail on the head. Cody, Philip, we'll add on to Philip's statement there. Do you think this team, just from one day of watching this team live in action at the Benz, have bought into what Raheem Morris is cooking here in Atlanta?
Oh, yeah, no, I don't think it's just the defense that's bought in either. I think the offense has shown you that they've bought in too in what we're building here. It's absolutely, this defense has the ability. It's definitely got the personnel to be better than last year. That was one of the first things that you and I were talking about when we saw Caden Ellis coming off the edge. Is just that bend and that ability to, get around that, he absolutely would have had a sack if, they were recording those. This team has definitely bought into whatever Coach Raw is selling, man. They're just, again, to Philip's point, is you can tell that they're ready to play for their coach. And I think that was probably why the move was made that Coach Raw was brought here instead of Belichick. I was big on Belichick to start, but then once you really start to see these guys go, we want to play for Raheem. Raheem's a player's coach. He's the guy that, he could sell us snow if we were Eskimo, all that stuff, man. He has absolutely got this team to go all in, because even though, again, the energy is just different at practice again. And that's huge. Like, people don't understand that energy translates over. Like, it's not the be all end all, but it really does. It kicks your season off right when you're hearing all these good things, and you're seeing all these good things in practice. It translates into game time situations. I think Friday, we're going to see a defense with its hair on fire. I think if you get to see Grady Jarrett, you get to see any of these guys, you're going to see a bunch of guys that are ready to eat, or ready to get after the quarterback, and are ready to punish ball carriers, wide receivers, and shut stuff down, man. Let's say so. It's definitely exciting to see.
Absolutely, man. Some more news coming out of Flowery Branch. Our guy Taylor Heineke officially was sitting on the sideline as a reserve today at training camp. Rumors have been speculating. Obviously, no longer a rumor. Michael Penix Jr. is your second string quarterback here as a rookie, his first season. Rumors circulating that Taylor Heineke may be getting the boot very, very soon, maybe a trade offer somewhere. Officially around the news league, Brandon Ayuk and the 49ers have now been listening to trade offers from other teams. Philip, Cody, we got to speak about it. It's an around the league topic, and there's been rumors this offseason that this could maybe be a potential land spot for the Atlanta Falcons and Brandon Ayuk. Philip, Cody, is the Falcons buying in, or is this just another trade rumor?
Looking into it, we've been hearing this since the start of, I'm pretty sure, February, March, somewhere in there. I'm tired of hearing about it. We know he won't sell NFL. You don't have to keep telling us. We know. He stated it himself. Do I think we're buying into it? You could possibly, but I just don't think so. You know what I mean? I think that's just a thing. I feel like they're comfortable where we're at. We've seen it. Looking at where we're at, wide receiver wise, putting Pitts in as wide receiver sometimes, Charlie Warner at tight end sometimes, you got people like Drake that's turned into a whole nother level, turned that notch. Darnell Mooney doing his thing, and Ray McLeod, Rondell Moore, such players like that doing their thing in practice. I don't think it's something we're buying into. I just don't. I think we're comfortable where we're at, and we're going to keep on moving forward where we're at, and we're going to continue to grow with what we have and who we have.
Love to hear it, Philip. Cody, your thoughts. Obviously, the trade rumors with Brandon Ayuk was going on, as Philip said, since damn near February here around the league, that he no longer wanted to be with the 49ers. Some of his potential landing spots were the Steelers, the Falcons. There were some other spots on the list. I think that would be crazy, Philip, Cody. But before we get to Cody, I want to ask this one question to both of you guys. Just a simple yes or no. Do you fear the Steelers a little bit more with a Brandon Ayuk on their offense?
I'm sorry, I'm laughing, but I don't. It's just because of the guy that's falling behind it. He's a first run guy. He's always been that way, and he's not going to change. That's just the only reason he's going to move a ball is from running his running back or the two mobile quarterbacks that he has. That's the only thing I see, and maybe throwing a few.
I just think when you pair, I think it could just be dangerous when you pair Brandon Ayuk with a Kenny Pickett. Cody. Obviously, you heard the question about. I forgot the question that I asked Philip, but you remember the topic we was talking about, Philip, right before that topic. Cody, your thoughts on that subject?
Man, well, here's the thing: is unloading Heineke would be one of the first steps that we would have to take if we were going to go after. Sorry, my dogs just got in here.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good, Brandon Ayuk.
I would say Brandon Ayuk. I would say that would be one of the first steps that we would have to take is cutting to Tyler Heineke and extending people. So maybe that's why Tyler Heineke's kind of on the chopping block. My thought is more of he's getting on the chopping block because he wasn't really all that good. He came in, he did all right, in one game, and then he absolutely choked in the other games that, we brought him in here for. So to me, it's almost like, hey, let's go save our money, because as Penix is developing, he's getting better. He's definitely a viable number 2 at this point. I think just from what we saw Friday, just the crispness on the ball, the ability to get the ball out quickly, reading, wasn't looking to scramble, wasn't looking to run. I don't really think that's part of his game anyways, but you could tell that again, looking for wide receiver 1, 2, as he's throwing. Do I think it's something that we're going to do? Probably not. I don't think that's something that we do. But if it is, we are, getting rid of Tyler Heineke is obviously the first thing you have to do. And then you have to extend some guys and restructure a little bit. But I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. But to answer your question about the Steelers, absolutely not. I don't care if it's Kenny Pickett. I don't care if it's Russell Wilson. I don't care if it's their quarterback turn punt returner. What's his name again? Oh, Justin Fields. Yeah, that guy that everybody was so hyped on that nobody cares about.
What's his name? Wide receiver's name?
Receiver name, dude.
Pickens.
Pickens. I said Pickett earlier. Yeah, I
George Pickens.
Yeah, that was a fool by me.
I mean, not to brag, but my guy AJ shut him down. So in Atlanta. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. He's a Georgia boy, but you're going against my dog. So my dog is just You on Terrell Island at this point, son. So
quick word.
It's gonna be Clark Phillips guarding Ayuk if he goes to Pittsburgh. So
do it now. Or I'll hunt you down. Smash like.
So
episode 80 coming at you live. Philip, continue on, brother.
So Clark Phillips is turning up the notch as well. So if they get Brandon Ayuk, he's most likely going to be one guarding Ayuk, unless Pickens is on the other side. They're switched, flip flopped. You know what I mean? But still, then I feel like Clark Phillips can hold his own. You know what I mean? He's aggressive. Pickens is aggressive. Clark Phillips is aggressive. That would be a hell of a matchup. But I'm going with my dog. I got faith in him. You know what I mean?
Clark Phillips was the next subject here for tonight. Having a couple pass breakups today, coming back with an interception. Mike Hughes himself securing an interception today. That is a battle. That is a battle there that is just making both knives sharper. Both guys want that starting position. Mike Hughes, obviously the vet, in the NFL. Clark Phillips coming in his second year, fighting for that first string spot, a late draft pick already in his second year, looking for a starting position on the defense. Phillip, Cody, obviously all three of us here on this panel are huge fans of Clark Phillips III. But your thoughts of Clark Phillips and the Mike Hughes? Could Mike Hughes really secure this spot if he's going hand to hand with Clark and bringing in interceptions like Clark's doing?
This is my thing today. I seen something today about Mike Hughes. I'm not downing him or nothing. He's been pretty solid from what Raheem's saying and other people are saying from social media. But today it seemed like Miami was just picking on him, kind of. They just kept throwing his way. He kept getting not bullied, but he was always a step behind. You know what I mean, on certain throws, which is understanding. Which is understanding with Tyreek. Tyreek. That's understandable. But there was a full drive where he was on, and they just kept throwing it his way. And then I seen where the reporter said it just seemed like they were picking on him, kind of. But then again, there wasn't videos to cover up how the throws were, like where they were at, everything else. But so far as I've seen, he's been pretty solid. So I mean, it seems like a good little head-to-head battle between him and Clark. I do hope Clark gets it because I just like the youngness of the guy. But if you have a veteran guy and Mike Hughes is doing just as great as he's doing, hell, why force that? You know what I mean? Why force somebody to go in early? You know what I mean? So
right. Cody, your thoughts of the Mike Hughes, Clark Phillips III battle, obviously heating up this offseason. Been a spot that we've talked about numerous times here on the channel. Not sure who that cornerback 2 may be, and we're still not 100% sure who that could be. Probably the biggest training spot battle that we have going on to speak about right now. So your thoughts of Clark Phillips and Mike Hughes both coming away today with interception. Obviously, AJ Terrell as well as Mike Hughes both today was burnt by the number one player in the NFL, Tyreek Hill, which is going to happen. But our thoughts on Mike Hughes and the Clark Phillips III, their battle there. And shout out to Tyreek Hill, man. Shout out to my guy, Craig Nels, his little boy, Phillip, our guy. You know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to shout him out because he's a little underage. But shout out to our guy. He's a baller when it comes to football. Tyreek Hill has a football team over here in Georgia. He's actually sponsored.
And Douglas.
Plays for Tyreek Hill. So shout out to Tyreek for giving my guy the dream that he wants to live, man. Cody, your thoughts of Mike Hughes, Clark Phillips III?
Yeah, man, I'm still leaning Clark Phillip. I mean, he's again, it just goes back to what Mike Johnson said, man. He's got that dog in him, and even though Hughes put that nasty hit out that almost started a fight at practice, there's just something about Clark Phillips, man. Watching him just. I don't know if it's the 5'9" in me that's like, man, I want the 5'9" guy to succeed, and be that guy. But it's like you said, Chase, it's just iron sharpening iron at this point, and they're just going to keep battling it out. Like I said, I do still lean Clark Phillips over Hughes, but only because, again, this is Clark Phillips' second year here, and I think his ceiling is higher. He's younger. He's going to be quicker. He's probably going to be a little bit meaner. I did see where, Hughes had been kind of picked on, throwing his way a little bit. But again, that's the NFL. You're going to get that a lot when they're like, okay, well, AJ Terrell's over there. We're not throwing that way regardless, unless Tyreek's over there. We're going to have to throw it over here. So that, again, that speaks to the talent that AJ is. That you've got other guys getting thrown on more often than, but again, he comes away with the pick. So does Clark Phillips. So I think it's definitely going to be one of those things. Is I want to see as they're switched in and out in live game on Friday to really see like who's really taken that step to take that starter role. Right. If it was me, obviously right now, Clark Phillips for sure, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they both have Friday night to really kind of be like, okay, he obviously understands the assignment. Okay, I can see why we want him in here starting and bringing in, whoever the backup in that situation might be.
100%, man. Style of talent there. My guy Wallace Smith in the chat said, I said this after the draft. Penix, they thought might trade or cut Honey because I don't think they're going to carry a quarterback 3 that is making a $3.4 million just to be on the roster. the reason why we even spoke about keeping Heineke is because he took the team-friendly deal. If we all go back to the past, Tyler Heineke takes the team-friendly deal. He makes the roster. But I think it goes back to what you're saying, Philip. I don't think he's that good. Cody, we talked about it, Philip. That's why you're cutting Taylor Heineke. That's why you're possibly going to trade Taylor Heineke, because a rookie has came in the building and has shown you up in just a couple of months. That's why the trade rumors are coming out of Fire and Branch with that.
Freaking balling. And then
Real
you got
quick, go ahead,
you have the fourth QB as well. We seen throws from him. I'm not gonna lie, his zip on his ball looked a little bit better than what Taylor had going on Friday, but that just could have been a slump day for Taylor. But hey, the dude was cooking.
Absolutely. Shout out real quick to some new Hall of Famers, man. Devin Hasters, the Falcon, I want to say Falcon legend. He only spent a couple years here with us, but man, was a baller when he spent his time here in Atlanta. Also, another Falcon, Dwight Freeney, giving love to the Atlanta Falcons, man. Philip, Cody, before we get ready to shut this thing out, any last words for Dwight Freeney and Devin Hasters, man? Two Falcon legends that made an impact here while they were in Atlanta.
First things first, shout out to Devin Hasters for that good little, breaking the record that night against Tampa Bay, showing a great 48-3 game. Hell, that was one of the greatest things growing up in 2014. Remember, it was a Monday night game, just sitting there watching it with Dad, man. Bro, it was just crazy. You're thinking back all that a long time ago, but shout out to him. It might not have been 2014, but, you get the thing. But shout out to him, and then shout out to Dwight Freeney bringing out the everything, just 2016 come in, the leadership, pushing Beasley to, learn the spin move, to push him to the, leading sack leader,
15.5.
Helping taking the team to the Super Bowl, bro. Like you showed me something that I'd never experienced in my life. I wasn't there for the 98 experience. I know it didn't end the way we all wanted it to, but I still got to see my team in a Super Bowl that I thought that would never happen. Just our luck, I just never thought it would happen. So shout out to him for bringing that to me. And now I just can't get rid of that taste. I want it back, and I want it now.
Absolutely.
So
Cody.
shout out to you, Hall of Famers, man.
Shout out to Philip, man. Cody, your thoughts of Dwight Freeney giving the shout out, Devin Hester giving the shout out to the Birds, showing love and respect for the organization, as Philip said, gave us something that we thought we may never ever see again. Made it to the Super Bowl, didn't come out with the win that you wanted it to be, but you've seen it, you tasted it, and now, like Philip said, you can't get enough of it. You want it back. Cody, your shout outs for Devin Hester and that man Dwight Freeney.
Yeah, man, both of them deserve to be there and get their gold jacket and have their their time in the sun, forever immortalized in football history, man. What Devin Hester did to the NFL, I mean, if you had Devin Hester back there, you had to be ready for that third phase of the game, man. He absolutely revolutionized, putting the guy back there with the speed and the talent and the moves to take him back to the house, because it's such a huge swing, man. I remember when Devin Hester broke that record. I was obviously wasn't there, but I remember watching and just thinking, dude, even as old, I think he was 30 something at that point, just going, he's still got it. Still got it, man. Just he was special. He was absolutely special, and he absolutely deserves the honor. Dwight Freeney, man, just the leader that he was in 2016. He took that young defense, with Keanu Neal and Vic Beasley and, took those, Grady, all those guys. And you could tell that his leadership meant a lot to all of those guys. So, definitely, obviously deserves his gold jacket and his time in the spotlight again. For being who he was. I mean, it was one of those things. If you knew you were lining up against Dwight Freeney, you were going to have a long ass day at work, and it was special to see. To see even when teams double teaming him, that he's still finding a way to put pressure, get people down on the ground. Dwight Freeney was special, and I think had he had been here in Atlanta more, we'd probably be talking about him. along the lines of John Abraham that we do here, how we hold John Abraham, not that we don't already, have that level of respect for Dwight Freeney. I would have loved to have had him in a Falcon uniform for longer than what we got, but in my opinion, you've got Grady Jarrett, you got Jesse Tuggle, you got John Abraham, and you got Dwight Freeney as, 4 all-time great Falcon defensive linemen who just do their damn job. And it was refreshing to see because, before Dwight Freeney, I mean, we hadn't had anything since John Abraham, and it was good to see that talent there on that defensive line in a Falcon uniform for a change. Absolutely. Instead of somebody else. So shout out to both of them. Congratulations on, football immortality. You guys deserve it. You deserve, all the recognition and all the awards and all the things that are coming y'all's way, because you put in the work, you put in the time, not just here in the Falcon organization, but everywhere you went, y'all were special. So congratulations to you two. Definitely, hopefully one day get to go up to Canton, get to see the bus. I'm definitely planning when Matt Ryan gets his time. Love to get to go see, 2 Falcon greats on top of Matt Ryan too.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to Cody, man, with some great comments there about our guys, shout out to Brandon Keeley. Brandon's here in the comments section. Says, excellent job, fellas. Super proud of y'all. Shout out to Brandon, man. Check him out at the Sports Nuts. Excellent comment there about Derek Hester's and, our guy, Dwight Freeney, man. They really brought a lot to the team. And I'll just piggyback off what you guys said. The main one that Philip said, man, you gave me an experience that I had never seen. You got my team to the Super Bowl, and that was enough for me as a Falcon fan, just to be in the Super Bowl, to have that little taste of a Super Bowl. It's coming back, man, and it's going to happen very soon.
It's like losing a championship belt, and you want that bitch back, man. Nice. You want it back.
Hey, look, Cody, should we give the vlog here on the podcast before we get out tonight? Should we play the vlog? Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let me pull it up. Share screen. Man, if you haven't checked the vlog out on YouTube yet, man, head over to YouTube and hit the like button, man. It don't take much, just a simple like.
What is up, Falcon fans? We are loading up for the open practice at the Benz.
Without further ado, let's go ahead and
I don't know what is happening, people. I have no idea what is happening right now. My laptop just went crazy. Give me 1 second, man. We're going to put this back up. I don't know what just happened. Philip, Cody, before we get out of here, man, before we show the vlog, anything else that was surprising to you guys when you were at the Benz? Like maybe the fact that fans, you had to be a certain fan.
I was about to say that.
You had to be a certain fan to get autographs at the Benz. I mean, Philip, Cody, your thoughts of this weekend?
Just speaking about the fans in general, despite that, that was okay. It is what it is. Normal practice, practices that I've been to during that, there's not that many people there. We packed that place out just for, a certain amount of seats that they sell, for that. And looked like they were all gone pretty much. So shout out to the fans. It just seems like I've told y'all we're back, bro. Fans included. We're just back. It just feels like it's gonna be a great year, bro. Like it just really does. So shout out to everybody that was there Friday.
Absolutely.
I loved seeing it because it's just been a little depressing place up in the Benz for a couple years, and it's just glad to see everybody back, man. You know what I mean?
All right, so I think we can get the screen share to work now, guys. I think we got enough of hope in it now, so maybe this will work. Pulling up the screen share for the vlog. We're going to try it out here. Here we go. This is part 1. There's 2 parts of the vlog. It was too long of a vlog, and so next time we're going to make like an actual video for the vlog itself. But here we go, man. Let's see if we can get this thing to play right this time. It is still tweaking. We're going to get this thing, guys. We're not going to give up. We're not going to give up till we get it. I'm a strong believer in not giving up. We're not going to give up, damn it. So give me 1 second.
Down, never what?
Cody, obviously Philip spoke on that. I want to talk about the fact that only certain fans could go down there and get autographs. I thought that was crazy. This is the first year in like 4 years that they've actually way longer than 4 to 5 years since they've canceled training camp to the public. So fans are looking forward to that interaction when it comes to the Ben's open practice. Cody, your thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you had to have a special something or not. I think there was probably somewhere that you were supposed to line up beforehand and go down there because you could see them bringing them all out. So I'm sure it was more of a, hey, if you want autographs or if you want to get down here, this is where you got to be. I didn't see any of that signage, because I'm used to them just coming, going all over the stadium. We didn't stay, too long, yelled at Koo a few times and obviously couldn't hear over all the noise.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was what it was, next year, there'll be next year for sure. But definitely hope that it wasn't, hey, you had to have a certain special thing. I didn't read anything, I was reading up on, hey, what can you bring? What can't you bring? And I didn't see anywhere where it was like, yeah, sign up for autographs here. And,
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that seemed like it was a little interesting. So I don't know if you had to be on the other side of the stadium to see the sign or whatnot. But
we're going to try this one more time, guys.
Yeah.
We're going to try this out one more time. So here we go. Here we go, man. If it don't work this time, just go to YouTube, check out the vlog, man. I'm done trying. Here we go.
Fans, we are loading up for the open practice at the Benz August the 2nd. We are lit. We are turned. Catch DFU at the Benz, man. Stay tuned for this vlog. Man, so here we are, leaving the small town of Hazelhurst, headed to the Big A. It's always a 4-hour drive for us, but that day traffic was moving pretty fair. But it's not an Atlanta trip until you hit the traffic, sitting in the traffic, trying to get to Atlanta. Philip, the first one to make it into the A. So we're riding along, boom, finally make it to the A. Boom. Running a little behind. Philip's already at the Benz. We haven't even checked into the hotel room yet, so we're already kind of rushing. It's a 0.6 mile walk from the stadium. Pregnant wife, 36 weeks pregnant. That's kind of a stretch. So boom, we're finally at the Benz. Stay tuned for what is Falcon fans. We are loading up for the open practice at the Benz August.
Let's see, find part 2. So this is a new thing we're going to do here for the channel, man.
Shout out to the old logo.
This is a new thing we're going to do here on the channel, man. We're going to start creating vlogs when we go on these away games, home games. But here's part 2 with the vlog, man. I hope y'all enjoy it.
And we are back, part 2 vlog in Atlanta, man. So you already know we at the Benz, we vibing. Little boy's first time being at the Benz, man. It was a lit experience. Got to watch Michael Penix Jr. throw dice. This guy's going to be an absolute stud. Oh, yeah. And by the way, all of DFU was in the building.
Gang, gang.
It was a lit time. It was a great time meeting Cody, his wife, watching the Falcons do what they do, man. I think this season's really going to be the year for this team. We headed to the aquarium, day 2, decided to go see the fish. The little boy approved of it, man, so great time at the aquarium. Had a blast this weekend in Atlanta. Let's load up and head to Truist Park. We have made it to Truist Park. It was a fun experience, experiencing the stadium for the first time. We had a blast. It was in the bottom of the ninth, 4-3. We ended up losing to Miami game 2, but like I said, we still had a blast. Hit that subscribe.
And you have no reason at all to not be subscribed to Dirty Fanatics United on YouTube, man. We're bringing you Falcon content, Falcon coverage. Every event we make, man, you're gonna have a vlog. It's gonna be a video from now on, no longer shorts. It'll be a video, so we can just create one big vlog that day.
I'm gonna state one thing. I'm gonna, shout to the Braves. But I'm gonna stay as far away as possible. I'm the bad luck to them winning or losing. Past 2 games I've experienced.
had that game 3-1.
I'm scared they lost. It's just same when I'm watching, bro. When I'm watching, they lose. When I'm not, man, they're killing it. So it is a shout to y'all as well, bro. So
Cody, Philip, shout outs for tonight, man. We have hit our hour mark. I'm sure my wife needs my help. Philip, Cody, shout outs for tonight, man.
Oh, man. As always, shout to the Lord and Savior, man. It's been a fun weekend. It was a fun weekend. It's been a good 2 days off, but it just hurt a little bit. We're working a little bit, so, but we'll get into it, man. He's gonna keep us on our feet, man. Always find another way. Shout out to the nephew who turns 1 tomorrow. Shout out. Shout out to him. Man, shout out to everybody in the comments. Shout out to everybody that we seen. There at the Benz Friday. Shout out to Justin. He was the first one I noticed.
Yeah, Justin at the Benz, man.
Yeah, shout out to Justin. First one we seen, spoke to us. Shout out to the Braves, man. The game was fun. It's a fam that we went there to the game with. It was such a crazy time. It was funny. We had some good laughs and everything. Shout out to the girl that offered us chicken randomly. It was a weird experience, but
never
shout
take
out to
food
you.
from strangers, people.
It was an odd experience, but shout out to you, I guess. Shout out to y'all for being here, man. It's just been a fun experience. And I've been kind of looking forward to speaking on what's going on today. I feel like a little bit more professional today because I've been on precise and on every point tonight. So
keep it
coming, shout out to y'all, man. Thank y'all for letting me do this.
Shout out to my co-host Philip, man. Couldn't do it without him. Cody, shout outs for the night, for the week, man. Next show Friday night. Falcons are playing, guys. So guess what? We're probably gonna be live while the Falcons are playing. If you can't make it while they're live and playing, be sure to catch us afterwards because we're talking
catch our
Falcons football,
reactions.
baby. You're gonna catch us live and in action. Cody, shout outs for tonight, brother.
Yeah, no, always shout out to you guys for coming on, talking Dirty Bird football, man. Absolutely love it. The hour flies by every time. I say so. Definitely shout out to you too. Shout out to everybody that's always liking, comments, doing all that stuff. Man, keep sharing this to Falcon fans. We're trying to get it out there. We're trying to reach that 1,000 subscriber mark, man. We're getting closer and closer, I feel like. So, shout out to y'all. I do want to kind of shout out this a little bit because I forgot to bring it up. Nick Forio, Nick Fangio, whatever your name is, I can't remember. The nonsense that you've put out about my Atlanta Falcons, about the players are going to call for Michael Penix and that there's no way that we're going to be able to keep him under wraps this season. Like, players are going to be coming into Coach Raheem Morris' office, like in Rudy, and laying down their jerseys going, it's got to be Michael Penix, coach. It's got to be Michael Penix. That ain't happening. Kirk Cousins is the quarterback. Kirk Cousins is going to be our leader. Kirk Cousins is going to take us to the Super Bowl this year. Kirk Cousins is going to win us the Super Bowl this year. So, shout out. Go ahead and continue to be ignorant. Keep continue to be ignorant about my team, but go ahead and keep them out of your mouth while you're at it. But so shout out to you, sir. Shout out to the Atlanta Falcons, man, for open practice. It was a blast. It was great getting to meet you guys in person. I'm looking forward to more events in person. Definitely ready for a game day, man. It's because we were pretty jacked up and fired up for practice. Can only imagine when the real thing starts going. But always rise up, fellas.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to my people that's in the comment section, man. I mean, y'all keep the show going. Without you guys,
you in here, baby.
Yeah, without you guys, man, we don't have a show. Shout out to the podcasters that dropped in one time for the fan. Shout out to them. Check them out. Shout out to Brandon Keeler. Check out his podcast. And the major shout out for the night, man. I don't know really how to feel about this, but the little boy will be a year old tomorrow, man. So shout out to my little boy. Does not seem like it should be a year, man. It seems like it was just yesterday, coming home from the hospital. And then, so after tomorrow, he's a year old. And then like 3 weeks after that, the next baby's here, man. So full of blessings flooding in this way, man. Shout out to the man above, man. I couldn't do it without him. Shout out to my wife, mom and dad, my brothers, my co-hosts. Shout out to each and everybody that showed support to this channel. Shown support to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody in the bins that was there at the bins Friday. Shout out to you guys because you need to be in your seats when the season starts off, man. It's going to be a fun experience. Like I said in the vlog, I really, truly believe this is the year the Atlanta Falcons take it all the way, man. This your boy Chase, Phillip, and Cody from Dirty Fanatics United, man. As always, it's A-Town down. A-Town down. Peace up. We out of here, man. Much love. Rise.